Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm starting a new card series which I am going to call Inspiration in the World. I am going to start out by talking a little bit about what I'm trying to do. Sometimes when you're out in the world you see different things. You see a dress or a purse or a picture or a landscape that inspires you and gives you creative ideas to help you in your card making process. And when that happens to me, I try to take my camera with me so that I can take a picture when I see it, and then when I'm home later try to think of ways to bring what I saw to life in a card design. Sometimes it could be a picture of a painting that's on the wall at the doctor's office, or my friend Lisa, she had a really pretty blouse on one day, and I looked at her and I was like, I am going to make a card design from your shirt. It's beautiful. So you never know what's going to trigger you. So I'm going to start off. I'm not going to show you the card because I want to first show you what gave me the inspiration. Now, I was putting away some craft items that I had sitting around the house, and I bought this metal wire for some purpose I don't even know. But I thought that this was a really very pretty design, and I wanted to see what I could do to make a card out of it. So sorry for the glare. This is the card design that I came up with, and I was trying to incorporate the flowers and a little bit of the frilly flourish accents, and I'm using a die cut which pops up these flowers and some simple watercoloring. So let me know in the comment section how close you think I got to the original. And any feedback that you'd like to give me, I would really appreciate it. So first, let me tell you, I am still working on the lighting issue of my video. So there is a shadow going right down the center of the video, and I'm very sorry. I'm working on that. And also, as I bring in white paper, because sometimes I need to protect the surface, then that shifts the coloring off way off, and I'm aware of that. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it right now, but I'm working on it. So let me move this stuff away and I'll show you the materials that I use to create this card. First, this is watercoloring, so I needed watercolor paper. I have a watercolor paper Bristol's cardstock, and this is 5 by 3 3/4. And I have another piece which is 2 by 4 1/4. I have a strip of blue paper cardstock which is 1 inch by 4 1/4, I think. I have my white card base, of course, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And I also have a black mat cut 5 1/4 by 4. The stamp sets I'm using today is Stamping Up Elements of Style for this flourish, and Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Mini Bouquet. This stamp set comes with all these different flowers that you see, and the leaves and the fronds, or whatever you would call these things. It comes in 2 different sizes. This is the mini one here, and it has matching die cuts, which I got on Amazon, and these die cuts cut very close to the flower, so you don't get a lot of white shadow area. I'm also using Thank You Words by Fiskars. Set that aside, make a little room. The inks I'm using today is Distress ink, tea dye, just a little bit of that, and Versafine Onyx black. And I'm also going to be using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I have a set of 60, and I've pulled out a couple of colors that I'm going to be using. Because I'm going to be doing some embossing, I'm doing the trick with clear embossing over black. So I have my clear embossing powder. I also have a little rhinestones, and I'm also going to be using white embossing powder. This is Zing Opaque White. Since I'll be embossing, I have to have my embossing tool to deal with the static, and I think that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. I need Versamark. Almost forgot that. And let me clear away this stuff and I will just jump right in and show you how to create the card. Alright, first I'm going to do the embossing that I need to do, and that will be for the flowers and the sentiment. So I'm going to run over this blue strip all over with the embossing buddy, and the same thing with this piece of white watercolor paper. Now that I have this done, I'm going to set that aside for a moment. Don't need that yet. And bring in my Misty, and I've already put the stamp that I need in place. Move this out the way, I don't need that yet. Okay, I find the best way to do embossing is to have everything ready to go. So I have my embossing buddy ready, I have my white embossing powder ready to go, and my heat tool is behind me ready to go. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment with Versamark, which is a clear watermark pad. It doesn't put a color, it just makes a little sticky area. And I need to press very lightly, because if I press too hard, then the letters will get a little bit blurry. And that was a little too light. Let's try a little bit harder. Yep, I think that's good. Now just dump it into the white. Good. Pluck off the extra and set that aside a moment. Now move this out of the way so there won't be any accidents. And now for the flowers. Now this is going to be the clear over Versafine, so I really need to move fast, because I'm going to stamp it with black and then immediately put it into the clear so that it sticks to the wet ink. So let's see, I need 2 of one and 1 of the other. So this one I need 2. I hope I still have enough room on this. And this one I just need 1. There. Now right into the embossing powder. There. Now I'm going to take both of these off camera and emboss them real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, now both of these are embossed. I'll set those aside for a moment, and now I'm going to do the stamping of the flowers. It would probably be better if I had stamped and embossed each individual flower, but I didn't want to take the time for doing that. I'm just going to stamp it with ink that I don't think will run too much and move from there. But because it's a lot of overlapping of the flowers, I'm going to need some masks. So I took and stamped this flower on Post-it notes, which are sticky all over, and made a couple of masks. I took the Post-it note and put it on a piece of cardstock and stamped it and ran it through the Big Shot and got the cutouts. So I think 4 is enough. You need to add the cardstock because you need the extra support, because if you tried to do the 2 Post-it notes back to back, you would take care of the sticky on one side, but it didn't turn out very well, so that's how come I did it that way. So I'm going to start stamping the flowers randomly around, and I'm going to bring in a piece of paper to protect my work surface, and this is going to make the lighting shift a little bit. Sorry. Okay. So this one I felt I started the flowers up a little high, so I'm going to start a little bit lower on this one. So I'm going to stamp the flower, and then I'm going to use the mask and line it up so that I can stamp the next one beside it, and it makes it look like one is behind the other. I'm going to fast forward to this part because it's a little tedious, but you will be really happy that you get with the effects you get rather than doing it without the masking. So I'll play some music to keep you entertained while I do this. Okay, I think that's enough flowers. So I'll set this aside now and clean up my stamps. I have my DIY stamp cleaning solution, which I have a video for how to make it on my channel. It's very cheap and it works very well, as you see. Because this of course is dried now because I stamped it and went on doing other things, but it still comes off just fine and the stamp is clean. Okay, do a little bit more cleanup. Now for the watercoloring. I have several shades of yellow and 2 shades of pink, and I want these to be yellow and this is going to be yellow, of course, and these two are going to be pink. So the inside, I'm going to start off with a brown, and the color just flows right over it very easily, but you have to be sure not to do too much at once because you don't want this color to get flat out dry. You want to be able to still keep it moving when you blend it with the water. So I'm just going to start with a little bit. Oops. And now the yellow on the ends. And now taking my aqua brush and blend the color. I'm going to start with the lighter color and move my way toward the darker center and blend the colors. And you can always add a little bit more color if you need it, and this needs a little bit more yellow. Okay, now I'm going to go through and speed it up and play some of my brother's wonderful music that he provides for me for my channel, and I hope you like it. Okay, now I just need to let this dry for a moment and then I'll move on to the next step. Okay, I got tired of waiting, so I went and ran my heat tool over it and heated this up a little bit. Now moving to the next step. So in order to get the flourishes, I don't want to go over the flower, so I'm going to need my mask again. So I actually should have done this before I did the watercoloring, but it's fine. It'll just take a second to get it back in place. Couple of turns. That's close enough. And I'm going to do the flourishes with the tea dye. Hopefully that's going to stay on my block. It's not as sticky as I would have liked. Okay. This way. And another one going the other way. Not too much though. Alright. Clean that up. I will definitely clean that later. And moving this. There we go. Now, I'm going to do my die cutting. So I have the matching die cuts for these flowers. So it's just a matter of lining them up. And I don't know if you can see it really close, but this die cut cuts really close to the edge. There is no white space when you do this. So I'm going to run it to my Big Shot and cut it out, and I'll be right back. Okay. I use a Post-it to hold the die in place, as you see, and it just pops right out. Alright. So now I need to get a little bit of foam tape, small amount, for the flowers. So the card is coming together really quick, and at this point all I need to do is do a card assembly. So I'm going to let the music run and just put the card all together. Okay, there is a finished card side by side with the inspiration. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank my brother David for the wonderful music he provides for my channel. I hope you find this new series interesting. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have a picture of something that tweaks your interest. Take a few minutes and see if you can come up with a good card design for it. There's no wrong way, there's no right way. It's just have fun and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Take care. Oh, please subscribe to my channel. I almost forgot. I'm trying to get my numbers up. Please subscribe. Pass the word. Take care.